Welcome to Inner Peace Arts Unscripted. I'm your host, James Coleman. I'm a writer, speaker, and coach on personal development, spirituality, and social change. You can check out my blog at innerpeacearts.wordpress.com, Facebook and Twitter at innerpeacearts1, and email me at innerpeacearts@protonmail.com. Today I'm going to be talking about sales. And sales is a 4-letter word or 5-letter word for many people. Many people don't want to go into sales, think salespeople are evil, etc. And yet salespeople are everywhere in every field. There isn't any kind of business that doesn't have salespeople. None. Even ones that don't say they're salespeople, they're still selling. So it's a ubiquitous human activity, and one that I think is, I'll say for myself, it's been difficult for me to grasp many aspects of sales because of the depth of, I guess, the depth of the way I see things, right? And how to maneuver them with integrity, right? And everybody picks and chooses the things that they're going to be, right about or good about or pay attention to, etc. So I'm not putting myself on any pedestal in any sense of the word, but I'm finding that the choices that I have made in my own life are now putting me in a position where sales is important, and I have to address it. It's like it's essentially you either sell or you don't eat, right? That's the hungry salesperson, and in many ways I've put myself in this situation, and now I'm facing the hard choices of having to sell. And it's hard. I'll tell you why it's hard, but I'll also tell you why I'm going to be very, very good at it. Sales is essentially, let's compare sales and storytelling, right? And a very famous storyteller once said that all story is manipulation. I won't say who, but you can look it up and you'll find who said it. All story is manipulation. Means that he, the storyteller, she, the storyteller, puts words, concepts in a certain order to elicit a certain response from you. Okay? So what are the implications now from one like me who is pro-free agency, right? I want you to make choices based upon what you want to do, right? And of course there's a lot of depth in that, like who are you, what your state is, blah, blah, blah. But to make the choice as freely as possible. But now we know that story is manipulation, and let's just take it even deeper to say that my presence with you in person is manipulation, right? Now we're starting, because I am affecting your person, I am affecting your ability to make a decision. I'm giving you information that you're taking in without any without giving you raw information that you then have to process in order to make a decision. That information could be organized in such a way that it makes it harder for you to make that decision, right? So this is the basic ethics that's involved in storytelling. And storytelling is vital to sales because you're trying to you're trying to meet a need, right? Oftentimes you're trying to create a need, I think the creation of a need that doesn't exist is probably the ultimate of unethical ways of going about doing things. And that, I can tell you a story about that derailed me for a long time, that I couldn't believe was actually practiced on purpose and taught to university students, that you are creating needs that actually don't exist prior to the advertisement. So I have some emotional history with this. So that means even my presence is manipulative, and I use that word on purpose because it has a negative connotation, and negative connotations we have to be careful about, because language is oriented towards maintaining a stable culture, which means maintaining a stable ruling class. So don't think that the negative implications of a word like manipulate are not intended to keep you from manipulating. Think about that. If these concepts don't, make you want to rise up and do something, nothing will. That's why I'm becoming less and less of a evangelist type person with rah everybody should, because lots of the things you can explain and people don't respond and don't get it. And that's the other portion, right? Now, I am saying this, right, that if we're not going to be interacting on a fair notion, right, that essentially opens up the door for me to extract from you. We live in an extraction economy. I'm sure I've shared that before. And in order to get what you need to take it from someone else, right? This is not like an ecological economy where I can plant some seeds in the ground and get what I need. No, it's a lot more complicated than that right now. And in order to eat, I need to extract from others. So here it is. It's open, expressed to the world, but that's all sales. All sales is extraction. And some of the largest extractors of consumers are actually the larger companies, not the small companies. Small companies may charge higher prices, but they charge higher prices because they have less scale. The larger companies actually wholesale rip people off, knowing that they're not paying attention to their bill and knowing that it's going to take a lot more for them to get the money out of them, and they can afford to not to be sued, etc. So this is I'm going to be talking a lot more about sales, because I'm going to be getting very good at it, and two, because I think it's misunderstood, and I think that we misunderstand or underestimate the power of words, and we can say that over and over again, but the power of words that have already shaped your ability to do things, shape how you see the world, etc. Again, that's a whole sociological topic. You can check it out, Whorfian hypothesis. I think that's how Whorfian. I think that's how you say it. Anyway, so sales. This is the first video, probably in some aspect of sales, but we see that at the end of the day, it's about manipulation. And you, as the salesperson, are the manipulator, whether you want to admit it or not. I read somebody who said, "Oh, sales isn't about manipulation." And then light bulbs go off in me, because it is about manipulation. Now, are you going to set up a situation where you are recognizing that person's agency or not? And how are you going to deal with that? My point is, if that I've given you an opportunity to recognize your agency, you fail to recognize your agency, it gives me complete carte blanche to do what needs to be done, and it be done according to my ethics. But this is, and I say this and it sounds harsh and it sounds like, oh my gosh, this is what everyone does. It's impossible to avoid doing it. And when you realize that this is what's going on, it should motivate you to want to be more free agently open oriented, you know. But if you're not, you know, you got to do what you got to do. And I'm making it known, and that this is not, you know, my personal position so much. This is the position that is the sales, right? And you make this presentation that looks good, that looks appealing to the person, so that they're going to make this decision. You hope that the product that you're selling them is going to actually help them and work for, and that's, you know, part of the ethical position. And that's what I'll be doing. I'll be providing something that really works, so I won't feel bad. You know, if I have to convince you, just like the person who doesn't buy life insurance is convinced, is cajoled to buy life insurance, and then, you know, 1 year later the husband dies, and now they have a bunch of cash that they wouldn't have had if the person didn't convince them to buy life insurance. Who was the manipulator there? They could have the buyer could have manipulated themselves out of the sale, but they were manipulated into the sale by the salesperson. Like, so I'm not getting into the nitty-gritty of what's right here. And you can make a chart, a 2x2 matrix, and you can see that there's plenty of paths that are ethical. But at the end of the day, it is manipulation, and to not think that it's manipulation and to not be comfortable with that is going to be a death knell to your sales. And sales is getting any idea across to anybody else and having them act on it. Okay? This has been James Coleman, Inner Peace Arts Unscripted. Check out the blog, innerpeacearts.wordpress.com. Yevarechecha Adonai veishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha vichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha, V'yasem lecha shalom. Have a great day.